17th season of Bass Talk Live with your hosts, Mark Jeffries and Matt Pangrat. BTL is brought to you by Lowrance, Bass Cat Boats, AFCO, Ducket Fishing, Strike King Lures, Sunline, Big Bite Baits, Spro, Exo Lures, Yamagatsu, The Bass Tank, and Denali Rods. BTL coming at you. Good Tuesday, everybody. Welcome once again to another edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where Ken and I are going to talk bass fishing and anything else that we want to talk about. Yes, another treat. It's Treat Tuesday with 2 doses of Ken Duke in 2 days. How are you, Ken?
It takes the second dose, Mark, before you're completely immune to me.
That's not true. That's not true, man. Fans love Ken Duke. I love having you on the show. Obviously, if you
the show, this is awesome. Thank you so much for having me again.
Anytime, Ken. And for those folks out there that may not realize, Matt, he is hit the open at Oneida Lake. He might check in with us today. I don't know. I didn't talk to him. The plan was for him to either call in. I sent him the video link. He might check in. But if he's struggling a little bit, he said, "No, man, I gotta work on my game. Got to get dialed in." So very, very understandable. If he checks in with us, that will just be bonus for us and the fans. But as I mentioned yesterday, he had a good day of practice, bad day of practice. Don't know what yesterday was like, but he's got a couple days left. We'll see what he does.
Yeah, best of luck to Matt out there. I know he's putting in the hours, putting in the time to make all this happen. And when you're chasing that dream, man, it's a challenge. And a lot of people may not realize how much, even though he's chasing a dream, it's still work out there.
Yeah. We're going to have a short segment right around the top of the hour. We're going to have a guest. His name is Michael Tesch, and he is the owner of Bass Boat Marketplace. And I've talked about this for a number of months. Actually, we actually did one of these where the BTL fans and really anybody has the opportunity to sell their bass boat live on a special BTL show. We're not going to take anything away from the normal 8:30 a.m. Central Time show, but we're going to have a special BTL show to where if you're in the market, if you're looking for a brand new used boat, yeah, that's kind of an oxymoron, brand new used boat, or you're looking to sell your brand new used boat, this is going to be an opportunity for you to do both. And this was an idea of mine I had probably 2-3 years ago. And with everything else I have going on, I just was not able to put it together. And then Michael actually approached me several months ago and said, "Hey, I like your idea. You know, I have this in place already. What if we kind of tie it together?" And I was like, "Have at it, man. Let's do it." So we're going to have Michael on at the top of the hour and kind of give everybody a rundown on how you can look for a used boat on Bass Boat Marketplace, and then also tie in if you're in the situation where you need to sell your boat. This is a great opportunity to be a salesman and sell it live to the BTL fans on a special BTL show. Can't wait for that. And Matt will be sitting to my right, and we will be helping you, hopefully selling your bass boat. So we'll go from there, Ken.
That's what I'd want is Mark Jeffries heckling me while I'm trying to make a sales pitch of some kind. That would kind of be my nightmare.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a great idea. As usual, you're the thought leader out there, and I think that's very cool. A buddy of mine, Josh Roller, has bassboatforsale.com. I don't know if he has any opportunities like this, but this is a great idea because now you're not just talking about the specs on the boat itself and what kind of equipment you've got on it and so forth and how many hours are on the motor, but you're also testing the salesmanship of the guy who's trying to sell the boat. That's what I like. That's what makes it interesting. See, I would want to throw in stuff like, and here's the gun I almost boat flipped the world record over. And there's There's my live well. It's pristine. I've never used it. I've never actually caught a fish. So it's brand new. The boat's 27 years old, but the live well is new.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. There's some good stuff out there, so we will tee that up right at the top of the hour and see what Michael has to say. All right, a couple other things real quick. If you notice, my blue dots are gone. I sold them all, Ken. I sold every single one. I sold out, man.
Are you sure? See, when I see that your blue dots are gone, my first thing is you had a system crash.
No.
Okay.
No.
Right.
I just, it was funny while it lasted, and I'm moving on. Somebody was actually interested in buying this space right here, and I'm like, no. We're gonna keep it the way it is. We're just gonna roll with how the screen is. I'm not selling out, not doing that. We'll just, it's a good idea, but not gonna sell out that space. Gonna continue with just the regular, normal PC screen right there.
Isn't it weird that the blue dots that guys exchange, there's not a scarcity value. Most things are more valuable if they're more scarce.
Mm-hmm.
So ordinarily, if there are only 3 in existence, that makes them more valuable than if there are 100. But blue dots don't work like that. Blue dots don't work like that. As an angler, I would rather have a guy give me 3 that are rock solid than 100 that now I've got to go check out, and you don't know how many of them he just patted in there, and he said, well, that looks viable, so click, press. Yeah. But blue dots are not operate on the scarcity system of value.
Good point. All right, and then the remainder of the week, tomorrow, our guest host in studio, BTL fan Bo Stevens, going to be sitting right there. We have Edwin Evers scheduled for tomorrow. And it's pretty cool that he was able to make arrangements to be here in studio to be the first guest co-host from a BTL fan. So Bo Stevens and Edwin Evers tomorrow. And then the best day of the week, day 4 with Frank Scalish coming up on Thursday. I have no idea what Frank has in store, but I will say this. We had another session of the locker room last night with 2 individuals, and Ken, that rocks. I mean, I am learning. I feel kind of bad because I'm actually learning from the questions that these gentlemen are asking to help their game and to improve their game on the water. And some of the stuff that Frank says, unbelievable. And I know everybody has truly been very, very pleased with what Frank is doing with that 1 hour in the locker room. And I've had several emails. People, I want to let you know, once we get this initial first wave completely scheduled and booked and get through the sessions, we will be opening up the locker room once again, and then you'll be able to get a slot. What is that? Is that Frank?
That's Frank Scalish.
Oh, my gosh. What year is that?
That's hold on.
What book is that?
This is 1994. It's Mark Hicks' book on the Ohio River.
Oh, it's really that thick? I thought it'd be like 2 pages. Well, oh, it almost is 2 pages.
Well, it's how many pages is it? It's 128 pages, which means 6 pages for every bass ever caught in the Ohio River.
That's 122 pages too many, man.
Well, Frank is the guy who illustrated the book.
Really?
Yeah.
He's quite talented. He's one of the few guys on the interweb when it comes to bass fishing. Frank and his drawings on the Thursday show is unbelievable. Looky there.
Those are of course our pictures of crappie because it's so hard to find a bass on the Ohio River that you gotta take your shots where you can. But
hey, throw that pick up again. I want to see the pick once again. Look at that hair. Frank Scalish styling and profiling right there.
There you go.
And he's got a smallmouth.
He's got a smallmouth, which is not, it's too large to have come from the Ohio River.
Wow.
A lot of the Ohio River tournaments, I don't know if everybody watching or listening is aware of this, but a lot of the Ohio River bass tournaments have a prize for lightest keeper.
Really?
You know, the 12-inch fish that you can bring to the scales that weighs the least. They have a prize for that. And quite often that fish will be like 6 ounces.
Huh.
I mean, really, I'm serious. I'm serious.
Wow, Ken.
I'm sure some of the viewers and listeners will have a lot more information about that than I do. But yeah, it's crazy. The fishery is so tough.
Well, yeah. I think everybody in the world knows that. Anyway,
but yeah,
that's very cool. Did that make the top 100 list?
The top 100 bass out of the Ohio River. Yeah. And notice Mark Hicks is the guy who wrote the book, and this is not just a bass fishing book. There's crappie and there's a striper, but
oh wow,
there's Mark with a striper, and of course that's a very
young Mark Hicks.
Mark Hicks, yeah.
That's great stuff right there.
Yep. So fishing the Ohio River.
Who's that on the front?
I don't know.
Who is that? Down a little bit. Down just a tad. Down a little more. A little more. I wonder who that is. Anybody out there know who that is? Huh? What's he wearing? An Evinrude hat? Ken? Is that an Evinrude hat?
Yeah, it's an Evinrude hat. I can't tell if he's got any branding on that shirt. The part that might have some branding is kind of blurred or blocked. There's no cover photo credit. It's probably a Mark Hicks shot, but there's no reference to who that is on the cover.
Interesting.
It's a 1994 book. So wow, closing in on 30 years old.
Somebody said Ricky Green. Is that Ricky Green?
Not Ricky Green. No, it's not.
Okay. How about Randy Blockett?
It's not Randy Blockett. It's an older guy. This guy's clearly in his 50s back in 1994. I would say he's clearly in his 50s. He might be late 40s, but it's not Blockett. It's not Ricky Green. I wish I could get it closer and you could still see it pretty good, but
yeah, it's not a bad shot there.
Yeah,
man, he's wearing the Tommy Biffle shorts.
Yeah, he's got the Biffle shorts on him. No, it's not Tommy Biffle, but here's Frank Scalish, back in the day, as they say.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's gonna kill me now. He's probably gonna kill you. No, Ken, why did you show that?
If Frank is offended, Frank, I live in Alaska, and don't come looking for me.
Yeah. Hey, we're getting some more guesses on
Ron
who that
Yurko.
is.
It could. I don't think it might be Ron Yurko. It could be Ron Yurko, but I don't know. Might be. It's not OT Fears. Not OT Fears. Could be a local guide, as somebody is saying on YouTube.
Yeah.
It might be Yurko, but I don't know.
All right. Great book. Great picture. That's great stuff, Ken. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play a game, Ken.
I love games.
All right, you and we're gonna play a game here. We're gonna play the what if game. I'm gonna ask you a question. What if? Then Ken, give me your thoughts. And
I'm ready.
We'll do. I don't know. We got like 15 minutes. We'll do one or two of these, and then we'll do it after we have Michael on. Okay.
I just got to get ready.
All right. First one. What if the electronics on Elite Series boats were tied into the live feed, of which the fans could see exactly what the anglers are looking at? What are your thoughts?
One, the anglers would raise holy hell. Some of the anglers hate the fact that the marshals were out there just taking pictures years ago and posting them on Facebook, because often there would be enough background information that a knowledgeable fan, a fan who was knowledgeable with the water there, would be able to go out and fish the same spot, perhaps the same day. certainly the same week. And a lot of guys really didn't like that. But they also realized that that wasn't going away. That wasn't going to change. And so they just had to deal with it. But if it tied in with the electronics, I think folks would really, they'd really be unhappy. And I'm not sure it would be good for the game. On the other hand, this would be something that some of the electronics companies would probably like to get behind, but they'd want exclusivity. They would likely want exclusivity.
Yeah.
And of course, it would wind up being a big battle between Humminbird, Lowrance, and Garmin, all trying to get more time on their units with their pros and stuff like that. It'd be very interesting, though. It'd be very interesting, especially if you had some good dialogue with the angler talking about what it is he's seeing and why he's in that spot. Interesting question, though. Very cool. I'd never considered that.
What if the networks or the live streaming provider, whoever it is, if it's JM doing the producing or whatever, what if they were able to block out the GPS coordinates and all you are looking at is the structure that the anglers are looking at from their forward-facing sonar?
Well, if you have another establishing shot of the pro to show who it is, and there's some background in there, people are going to be able to put that together. I think that would have more widespread appeal probably, and that would probably sell more forward-facing sonar than anything else anybody could come up with, because people would really get a taste for how the pros are using this stuff. They're not just bumbling around like I am and saying things like, "I think that was a fish." They'd really they'd see how cool this stuff is. And everybody would want one at that point, and that would be cool. I think that would be very interesting, but you have to wonder, unless the manufacturers got behind it and wanted to sponsor it, why would Bass or MLF want or NPFL? Why would they want to do it? Because the primary purpose of doing that would have to be, monetizing it. Anything you see out there from any of those organizations, they're thinking about ways to monetize it and give you a better show. And unless it could be monetized, I would be surprised that it would ever happen.
How do you think the fans would like it? Forget about the GPS and the blue dots and all that and everything. What do you think the fans would think about it? There, his internet went down again. This actually happened yesterday. He'll be back momentarily here with that stern look on his face. Hopefully he'll be back. Like I said yesterday, I'm not good flying solo here, Ken. Come on now. I didn't mean to stump you. All right, you're back now.
Yeah, I had to sign off and think about it real quickly and come back. Sorry about that. No, I was going to say, ironically, I think that the fans, and maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but I think the fans are ultimately going to be more interested in the side and down imaging, because that shows more of the structure and so forth where we find fish, rather than an isolated shot toward a random brush pile or grass bed. And I think people would be awed by the forward-facing stuff and how cool that is, and they'd want to go out and get it. But I ultimately think that apart from learning how to use the forward-facing stuff, that side and down imaging are somehow more critical in finding and catching fish. I think the forward-facing sonar is great to see if there's something directly in front of you within casting distance. Also, and I think this is, to me, is the coolest part of forward-facing sonar, is you can watch how fish react to your bait. When you can see your bait coming and you can see a fish tracking it and either attacking it or peeling off, then you know it's time to make some of those refinements. Maybe the bait's too big or too small. Maybe it's the wrong color. Maybe the retrieve needs to be adjusted. But I really think side and down imaging is ultimately more compelling and more, or maybe not compelling for the viewer, but ultimately more educational and tutorial than the forward-facing stuff as it exists now. And that may just be me.
All right. Now, Andy in Indiana, a longtime BTL fan, says that the smallmouth tournaments, if we did have this technology, it would make them much more interesting because they're all looking down at their graphs. Now you can actually see what they're looking at during the live stream or broadcast.
And that's why I agree about the side and down imaging is really great. Because a guy can talk about a drop off with a 45-degree angle and chunk rock here and boulders there. But to see it is quite something else. I think that would be endlessly fascinating, at least to me. But what also is a big factor in whether people are gonna dive into this look at the electronics. Then the tournaments become, in my opinion, even more regional focused. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy looking at somebody's sonar on Lake Erie, but only for a little bit, because I live in Florida, and Florida is way different than Lake Erie. I don't have gobies. I'm not fishing. I'm not drop shotting in 27 feet of water for smallmouth.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be riveted when they come to Florida and I have a chance to watch what they're doing. But not so much if they're in Missouri or California. Well, maybe California, but not so much Missouri or Texas or the Great Lakes.
All right, next question. What if, and it doesn't matter what national tour we're talking about, what if XYZ Tour, which is the top level tour, actually has 18 events throughout the year, 2 events per month for 9 months out of the season? What do you think the anglers would think about that, and what do you think the fans would think about that?
The anglers would hate it. These guys still try to have a home life where they can, and it would put them on the road basically for the entire year. A lot of anglers wouldn't be able to afford it. The guys way down in the standings who don't have big reputations would not be able to complete a season. Bass would not be reducing the amount of entry fees significantly just because there are twice as many events. They wouldn't be scaling them back in entry fees because that doesn't make sense for their business model. And guys struggle to find sponsorship now. So I don't think it would be supportable for an 80 or 100 angler tour. You might be able to support it on a 50 angler tour, but all the anglers would basically hate it. There'd be a group of guys between 22 and 26 who wouldn't mind very much, but everybody else would despise it and complain about it, and rightly so. The other problem you have is you'd have even more content, but actually you wouldn't have any more. It doesn't do anything to extend your calendar and so forth. So I don't know if there's that much need. I don't know if there's a need for twice as much content. You would really kill the lower tours. That's where you'd see a big change. Let's talk about the bass side. We're going to talk about the FLW side, but let's talk about the XYZ side, because you said that's the best tour out there, and I agree. The XYZ guys are awesome. Mad skills out there. The XYZ tour up here with 18 tournaments a year, the qualifying circuit below it, which is called the Nobody's Ever Heard of You tour, that would just disappear, because those guys there would be no room for them to get any exposure. So it would die completely. Nobody would want to sponsor anybody out there because they're not getting any ink. They're not getting any online time. It would just die. It would be less than half what the guys on Big Five or Toyota or the Opens or something like that are getting. And those guys already complain about the lack of exposure they're getting. It would be interesting. I think there's a sweet spot between 7, 8, 9, and 18, where we have a full-time sport and a full season, but it's not so much and so oppressive that it destroys A, everything underneath it, and B, destroys the lives of the guys who are trying to fish it. Essentially what you're talking about is taking the current top tour and mushrooming it, and everything underneath the mushroom gets no more sun and dies. Interesting.
They still get 3 months off, though, Ken. They get 3 months off. They're working 9 months out of the year.
And that's probably enough. But see, I think if you have a 9-month season and you come in with 10, 11 tournaments, that's plenty, because there are some natural breaks in the season that need to happen.
Yeah.
ICAST is one. The Bassmaster Classic or the Red Crest is one.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things our sport has suffered from through the years is just, when is the damn season?
We'll get into that. I want to get into this a little bit more after we have Michael on, but we have a special guest right now, Ken. Check it out. Look, there he is. Matthew, how you doing, man?
It really, really, really stinks.
What?
It's not good. It's moments of hope followed by hours of agony and despair. Just a hopeless feeling. Like I had about an hour window where I felt like I was a combination of like the Johnson brothers and Seth Feider, and then the rest of the time, I'm just trying to get a bite.
Wow.
I'm missing a piece of the puzzle, and there's nothing worse than going into a tournament knowing that puzzle piece is out there, but that you're missing it.
Huh.
Hey, Matt, I've talked to Pete Gluzak about this. All you need is a black Senko.
I'm not allowed to get information. Sorry, it went away there because it went away for a second there because that was Brad calling me, because I don't think Brad has been having the time of his life on Oneida either. Now, here's the only bonus part. We have been keeping walleye every night and frying the walleye.
So you've been eating well.
We've been eating well, and the only place I can get a bite, it's going to blow 25 on Friday.
Oh.
That's not good, man.
And
That's not what I wanted to hear.
To stay in the points. Like I said, I had a 30-minute window last night where it was like, 16, 17 be pretty easy. And I had one window on Sunday where I was like, I think I can do 20. But other than that, like, you can go back to the stuff you can do. I mean, I'm being probably a little bit too honest here in this interview, but I can't get bit.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a am I stressed out? No, I'm not stressed out.
Yeah, no. Is Hallman stressed out?
I don't think he's enjoying his time on Oneida very much.
Okay. Right.
I don't know. You'd have to ask him that.
Yeah, so what's going to be a good day? 15? 15? Can you get to 15? A limit?
Yeah, for me, yeah.
Wow.
Huh.
That's tough.
I mean, I'm being honest. I'm sure guys are absolutely catching them. They absolutely live in this lake. I know they're biting somewhere, but I just have not figured it out.
Huh.
So I'm going to grind it in the couple little areas that, I mean, I'm hoping over the course of 8 to 9 hours that window opens up for 20, 30 minutes and I look like a hero. But then Friday, I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm out in the middle of the dang lake. And it's going to flow over 20. So, and the largemouth are like non-existent.
Wow. What's the water temp? Can you tell us that?
Yeah, it's like 74.
Huh. Okay.
77 right here.
Wow.
Like, I feel like someone who either knows Oneida or like Brandon Polinick is going to just destroy this thing because it's probably pretty easy for him.
All right. A lot of people are saying, man, don't forget the formula when it gets tough. Don't forget your formula that you put together.
Yep. I'm
not talking fish formula either. Do you remember that, Ken?
Yeah,
fish formula.
Fish formula with sparkle scales. Of course, I remember that.
Fish plus location plus presentation equals success. That was the in fisherman formula. I'll never forget.
Alan Ron.
F plus L. I can't say it with a northern accent. F plus L plus P equals S.
Maximize your potential to put fish in the boat.
Yeah.
That's kind of close.
And it's
all
like,
right.
We go to Lake of the Woods where Ron is back trolling spinner baits for walleye.
That's pretty good, Panger. That's not bad. All right, so you got the remainder of today. You've got Wednesday, then you got Thursday, and the action starts on Friday, right?
The red-tailed sucker is an underrated spinner.
Oh, jeez. Jeez. Hey.
Logging for pike.
Unbelievable. You're looking good with the hat, though. You're styling.
Yeah, the merch. So if you're wondering or you have questions about the merch, 7 to 10 days after the 18th is when that merch ships. That's the deal, to where they actually build it after the store closes. So if you ordered it early, if you're wondering about it, it still has not shipped yet, but should here in the next week. So thanks again for all the support on that. But yeah, I was hoping it was the BTL lucky hat. Like, I mean, I've had 2 bites today, the entire day. Now there's where I thought I would have bite. Like, it's one of those deals where, I don't know. I've got one little group of deals that I've caught like 7 or 8 different ones in. So I'm going to live in that group. And then Friday, I mean, that's like 4 to 5 footers out here. I think 20, 25, maybe even more than that. So
maybe more.
It'll be, what do they call it? Sporty.
All right, man, we're going to let you get back to work, but I know the fans appreciate you checking in, and go dink and dunk a little bit. Get things done, man.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is you can't, like, it's hard to dink and dunk because everywhere you can dink or dunk, it's like 3.5 inches deep. I mean, it's
good.
So, like I said, it's not bad. I'm not complaining. I just have not figured it out yet, which is the first time in a while in an open that I feel like I haven't figured it out. Like I said, I mean, off limits for info, no messages, nothing like that. I'm not sympathy. I'm just saying it's a tough one.
Yeah, I get it. All right, are you going to be able to check in with Frank and I on Thursday and give us a final wrap up?
Well, that's day one of.
Oh, day one. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's wrong. Are you going to be able to check in tomorrow? Maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
Check in tomorrow. I mean, I know what the update's going to be, but we can check in.
All right. Well, maybe you'll have some good news for our guest host right here, Bo Stevens, going to be sitting in your chair tomorrow.
He sent me a message. Sounds like he's excited to do it and is going to do a great job. I think I'm going to go swing some dry flies for post-spawn crappie.
Good things will happen, my friend. All right.
Catch every break, Matt. Catch every break.
All right, man. Go to work.
All right. See you guys.
All right. See you. There you have it. Matthew checking in, and it seems a bit tough for him there, Ken.
It does, but he's not spun out or anything. That's good. I mean, he seems to be taking it in stride, and he's still got time. You know, he's still got all day today, all day tomorrow. Or he's got most of the day tomorrow.
Yeah. Do they still make fish formula? Do they still make that? No. Was that a 90s thing?
It was an 80s thing mostly. It was a pharmacist in the Memphis area named David Shears who came up with it. And he was a pharmacist, and he was using it, and he was having some success. He had Bill Dance endorsing it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I know that my friend Mike Jones, a terrific outdoor writer from California, is working on a story about fish formula that will appear in an upcoming issue of Bassmaster magazine, because Mike and I talked extensively about fish formula. He was asking me what I knew about the history of the stuff.
All right. Just a little side note. When you said pharmacist, it got my brain rolling there. Remember who started Terminator? Do you remember that?
No.
The Terminator spinnerbait? It was a dentist.
Really?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
I didn't.
Ken. Get on the phone, man. Make some phone calls on that one.
I sit here humiliated, Mark.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I thought you knew that. Yeah, it was a dentist that came up with that titanium wire.
Yeah, the titanium wire was everything about those Terminator spinner baits.
Yeah.
I guess it still is on some level.
Yeah.
The fact that they're going to hold their shape and less likely to break and so forth. Yeah, I did not know it was a dentist.
Yeah.
It was chiropractors who got the old True Tungsten company rolling back in the early 2000s.
Really?
Yeah. True Tungsten is gone, but a lot of their products are still kind of around under the names of other brands.
Huh. This day will go down in history. I actually stumped Ken Duke.
Sadly, that's pretty easy, but
no, it's not.
But I did not know the Terminator story.
Dig into that one.
All right.
Talk to Alan McGuckin. He'll give you the scoop on that one.
He knows all about that.
Yeah, he'll fill you in. Pretty cool story. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back. Talk a little used bass boats. Sell them and find them. Selling them and buying them. That's what we're doing. All right? All right, everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back here on a Tuesday.
Elite FS puts the full range of Lowrance fish finding tools at your fingertips. Find fish with active imaging 3-in-1 with Fish Reveal. Target fish with active target live sonar and watch fish react to your lure as it happens. Built-in C-Map Contour Plus charts make it easy to find key fishing areas. But best-in-class charts and powerful sonar is only the beginning. It's easy to build your fully networked FS system. From sonar and waypoint sharing to controlling the Ghost trolling motor and power poles. Lowrance Elite FS. Targeting fish just got easier.
Basscat's legendary 20-foot platform has been paired with angler-approved accessories for 2021. Puma FTD features the proven hull used by many of the top names in bass fishing today, backed by a transferable lifetime warranty. The Puma FTD boasts a full team deck concept which enhances efficiency for you and your tournament partners. Turnkey tournament-winning performance. The Puma FTD SP from Basscat.
I've made my living on the water for over 20 years.
For 14 years.
For over 23 years.
I've worn a bunch of different clothing brands over the years.
Some companies big.
And some companies small.
All of them said they were making clothing for us. But none of them knew us.
None of them were us.
Except for one.
Except for one.
Except one.
AFCO.
AFCO.
AFCO. AFCO.
Fishing isn't part of us. It is us.
Everyone, Brandon Polnick here. People always be asking me what I got tied on. And I'm like, X-Zone Lures. And they're like, Brandon, why you got X-Zone Lures tied on? And I'm like, let me show you why.
The bite.
Get out of there. Get out of there. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's freaking big. Get in here. Oh, God. Giant. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
I think you get the point.
Everybody loves to chase bass on the water. But is your most valuable asset protected when it's not on the water? Empire Covers can preserve your bass boat against even the harshest conditions. When the storm is coming, that bass boat needs to be protected. Check out EmpireCovers.com for all your cover needs. Empire Covers is the ultimate solution when it comes to protecting that asset. Empire Covers is the ultimate solution in easy protection for your truck, for your boat, for your car, anything that needs to be protected from the elements. BTL listeners can receive free shipping plus an extra 15% off their entire order on EmpireCovers.com. Just use the promo code BTL at checkout. Empire Covers. Protect what you love.
There's one.
You know what works. Now you need a bunch of them so you don't run out on your next fishing trip. The Big Bite Pro Packs feature 25 baits per pack at a price far below that of having to buy 5 packs of regular baits. Now the Pro Pack has a big brother, the Mega Pack. The Mega Pack features 100 of your favorite baits.
With these, one bag is usually plenty to get through the day. It helps me stay organized, helps me save money, helps me catch more fish.
All of us on the Pro Tournament Trail use Gamakatsu hooks.
Why?
Because they are absolutely the best.
It's not about how many bites you get.
It's how many you put in the boat.
Gamakatsu makes hooks for every fishing style.
We didn't come this far to lose fish.
Did you?
For more information, visit gamakatsu.com.
All right, we are back on a Tuesday with our good friend Ken Duke. We just checked in with Matthew from Oneida Lake. Seems to be struggling a little bit, but when the lights are on, that's when you got to shine, right, Ken?
You got to shine all the time, especially in the Mark Jeffries 18-event calendar season where basically you leave one event and as soon as the event final weigh-in ends, practice begins in the next one.
Hey, what year was it? And I'm not trying to stump you. I cannot remember. You remember when they had the majors? So you had the regular season plus the majors. What was that, 12, 14 events that year?
Well, there were 11 regular season events in the elites in 2006, 7, and 8. And then they also were throwing 3 majors at them. So, yeah, that was a long season if you qualified for all that. And then there was the Classic. So, yeah, those were the longest seasons.
Yeah.
And they typically began in like February and they would end in October.
Hey, you're a professional. That's part of it, right, Ken?
Amen. Absolutely. And I think that a lot of guys don't fish enough tournaments. And if I were a sponsor, I would want my guys fishing as many tournaments as possible to get, continue to spread the word and to be ambassadors for my brand. But you go over 10, 11 events, you're gonna have pushback, and it becomes much more difficult for the guys who are not successful on the tour in terms of cash and checks.
Yeah,
it's much more difficult for them to sustain. You'll have a lot of dropouts.
12 might be the number. Who knows? I like 12. I think 12 is a good number.
I like it. Again, it has to be a lot about what is sustainable.
Yeah,
and
I get it. Yeah. Man. I get it. All right, we're gonna bring in our special guest now. He is the owner of Bass Boat Marketplace. Let's bring him in now, Michael Tesch. Michael, how you doing, man?
Good, guys. How are you doing?
Doing well, and appreciate you taking time out. I know a lot of people out there may not be familiar with your website and the relationship that we're going to have going on beginning in the month of August, where folks are going to be able to buy, but more importantly, they're going to be able to sell their boat live on a special BTL show with Matt and myself kind of co-hosting it, to where individuals who have a boat that they want to sell can actually sell it live via BTL. So we're excited to partner up with you, Michael.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a really cool experience and a good opportunity for people to be on the show and show off their boats.
All right, give us a little history on this, because I know, having been around the game, there's been a number of websites in the digital age that customers or people that own boats, boat owners, can position their boat. What's special about your site?
Yeah. So I'll give you the history on it. A couple years ago, I was looking for a boat. Looking through Facebook groups, is finding that a lot of those aren't very search friendly. There's some big groups out there with dozens of boats getting posted pretty much every day. And I found if you're not consistently looking at those, you'll kind of miss what's going on there. And it's not really easy to go back and search for the ones that you don't see when they're posted. Yeah. And then I found some other places are kind of regional based, like Craigslist. So at that time, I was living in my sister's basement. She does web design and marketing. So I said, let's throw our hat in the ring here and create a website and kind of incorporate some of these search features, cover the entire U.S. and Let's see what we can do. So we launched live a handful of months ago now, so we're still relatively new, but it's been a long road to get to this point, but we're really happy with the product we have now.
How good is the used boat market right now?
It's on fire, that's for sure. I think everyone can see that with boats that are coming up for sale, just extremely high prices, and they're moving. I mean, that seems to be the way it's going in with car dealerships too, and everyone knows about the lumber prices. Everything's just going crazy right now.
Yeah. All right, Ken, do you have a question?
Oh, well, I was just going to say, when I was at ICAST, I ran into my friend Jeff Miller, who his family owns Miller's Boating Center here in Ocala, and I said, "Hey man, how can I help you?" And he said, "You can get people to sell me their boats. You cannot keep enough inventory." When's the last time you talked? Imagine that you're talking to a boat dealer and he wants to buy a lot more boats because he's selling them so fast. Michael, how are you going to decide? Here's my question, because I'm fascinated by what Mark has told me about what you guys plan for BTL. How are you going to choose the guys who will get the opportunity to present their boat on BTL?
Yeah, so we'll have a form on our website. It's currently live there. So anybody that wants to come on the show can fill out that form, and then we'll go through the process of vetting those people out, scheduling them, and then and getting them going. It's $200 to be a part of it. That includes the $75 gold package that we have on the website with all of our social media exposure. We'll do a boosted social media ad with that. And then being a part of the show is kind of the big kicker on that one.
Guys, I'm horrified. I have to tell you this. There needs to be an audition tape.
No, that's the beauty of it, Ken.
There needs to be no.
That is the entertainment part of it right there.
You don't want some boring dude taking up time on BTL, and Michael doesn't want somebody who's not going to show off his brand to its greatest impact. You need an audition tape, and they need to do the obligatory old sell me this pen routine. You know, they need to show you how they would sell you that pen. And if they can't do it, they don't get on the show.
Hey, Ken, part of Matt and I's responsibility is to help them through the process. Look, we did one of these. We did a test one. I think it was well over a year ago with a gentleman in Texas. The dude sold it the next week. I think we did it on Thursday. It was sold over the weekend.
I get it. Hang on. I'm listening. But, you know, it's not your job. It's your job to have great content. It's your job to present a fabulous show out there. And you're missing a point here.
What's that?
If you require people to have audition tapes, that's more content. That is more content. And you need to do that. Okay, so here's what I'm
looking for. What are you trying to get there?
Just mind your own business, Mark Jeffries.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You need to do this the right way.
Okay. What is Ken Duke pulling up his sleeve now? He's got the camera blocked for those listening on the podcast. Now he's got a BTL.
Guys, this is my 1974 Ranger.
Oh my gosh!
And I believe it was used in the Bassmaster Classic by Liberace, the piano player. They finished fourth in 1975 on Currituck Sound.
Oh, that is entertainment. You know how much entertainment factor would come with that individual?
I think I frightened Michael. I think he thought, oh my God, it's a totally different dude.
No, I like it. You come on like that, yeah, we'll have you on for sure.
Ken, that's part of the beauty of this concept and this idea is people get to see the personality that's trying to sell the boat.
Yeah, but you're basically auditioning them live on your show, and that's come on.
We'll include something like that.
You're already doing that with Bo Stevens tomorrow. You're auditioning Bo live on BTL. I think I'm going to be fascinated by that. I'll admit. But okay. So my idea has crashed and burned.
No, we didn't say that. We're kind of got to roll with whether or not people want to sell their boat and roll with how they apply. And, you know, geez, I'm going to talk to them on the phone before that and Make sure they're all good to go. Make sure they have the technology in place. It's super simple to use. As long as you got a cell phone. All you need is a cell phone and a headset, and you're good to go. You can walk around the entire boat. That's exactly what we did when we tested this with the gentleman down in Texas. So, hey, it's the three things, Michael and Ken. It's entertainment. It's education, because we're going to find out maybe something about somebody's boat that we never knew based upon how he positions it. All right, so then we're going to engage everybody by giving them an opportunity to either buy or sell live on BTL. There you have it.
I like it. I think it's very cool. I just think if you had a batch of demo videos, now you're talking.
Yeah.
Now you're
talking. Now, this is real important. And Brian, I see your post over on YouTube. This is going to be a special BTL show. This is not going to be the normal daily or 4 times a week BTL show at 8:30 a.m. Central Time every day. We're not going to take away time from what we have. These will be special shows that work around both Michael and his staff, their schedule, my schedule, Matt's schedule, and obviously the person that is positioning their boat on BTL. So they will be very, very special time shows dedicated to allowing these people the time to our BTL fans to position their boat. And hey, it's for those people too. If you're looking to buy a boat, what a better way than to ask questions to the guy that's selling it live? How often do you get to do that unless you're standing right next to the guy, Ken?
Well, absolutely. And I think it's very cool. I'm going to watch just because I want to see, well, I want to see the guys crash and burn. But
exactly. And hopefully that won't happen. All right, let me do this. I'm gonna pull up the website here real quick.
I want to see what kind of skill level some of these guys have as salespeople.
All right, so there's the website. Goes through. What do you want to run through there, Michael?
Yeah, click on that buy tab at the top.
Okay, hang on. I got to get to the right screen. Right there. There's the buy tab. Okay.
Yeah, so that's where all the boats are currently listed. So the advanced search features were a big thing we wanted to incorporate with this to make it easy to find exactly what you're looking for through there.
Okay.
So you can search by the price, the make, year. There's a generic search bar. If you wanted to get a boat with just a Mercury on it, then you can just search Mercury and all those will pop up. And then my favorite part about it is the location search. So it's all linked through Google Maps, as you can see on the map there, with a little pin where each boat is from. That's currently listed. And then you can drill down on the location search and search a certain distance from your location. So if you're willing to, drive 300, 400, 500 miles to pick up a good boat, you can filter the search through that way. So it is nationwide, so anybody in the U.S. can post on there. But then if you're not interested in driving out to California to pick one up, you can exclude those from the search and not even see them.
Okay. How about if you want to sell? Let me click on that tab.
Yeah, so there's our 3 packages right there, kind of the basic silver package, the $30 package that gets you on there and then shared through our social media accounts. The upgraded to the $75 package. Includes everything on the 30 and adds in the rotating listing on the homepage, featured top post, and then we'll run a paid social media ad through that. And then the live on BTL, which we already talked about.
Yeah. All right.
We have a couple dealer packages too. Dealers want to partner up with us where they can get unlimited listings for a monthly fee. And then another big thing we really wanted to do when we were designing this was automate it as much as possible. So we have the automated forms and payment all on the website where you don't have to email me any pictures or descriptions, or if you want to edit your posts, you can do that through your profile on there, any of your listings. So it's really good for dealers that have multiple listings. So they can just go right onto one spot and edit their prices, change their photos, whatever they need to do, delete the listings that are sold.
All right, so if somebody wants to be a part of the special live show, they can just click on that live tab, and then they fill out this online form. It gets routed to you, and then we'll be in touch, correct?
Yep, that's correct. So no payment on that until we get it scheduled. So you fill out the form, I'll reach out to you, we'll go through the scheduling process. Once we agree on it, then I'll send over a PayPal link to pay the fee there, and then I'll send over a code for the $75 listing where you can then go back and submit a $75 free listing on there to get the boat actually listed on the website then.
All right, good stuff. As I mentioned earlier, and you mentioned also, Michael, the used boat market right now, it is screaming hot. And if you are looking for a boat, you're not really interested in a new boat, and you want to save a little money, maybe get a boat that's 4 or 5, 6 years old, save yourself a little bit of money. Great spot to check out some of the offerings that they have on Bass Boat Marketplace. And then more importantly, for us, hey, we want to engage, we want to educate, we want to be entertained by you trying to sell your boat on the special Bass Boat Marketplace BTL show that we're going to have beginning in August. So anything else, Michael?
No, I think that about covers it. Excited to finally get this thing rolling.
Yeah. So we'll kick it off sometime in August. But please, if you have a boat, go check it out. BassBoatMarketplace.com. Fill out the form. Matt and I would love to have you on the show to help you sell your boat to anybody across the nation. And the other thing is, too, it's going to be archived. So once you do the live show, we're going to archive it, and people are going to be able to view it on demand afterwards. So it's a great way. Hey, if you're forking out $50,000 for a new boat, what's $200 to try and sell it? Agreed, Ken?
Absolutely.
All right. That's kind of my thought, too. Michael, man, thank you so much for this partnership, and looking forward to August. I know Matt and I, we're very excited to try and help people across the nation sell their boats here on BTL, and very excited about what we have going on beginning in August.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. It'll be awesome.
All right, man. Take care.
Yep. We'll see you guys.
All right. There you have it. Michael Tesch with Bass Boat Marketplace, and that was quite entertaining. The little deal you did there, Ken.
I'm just showing how I would do it. I'm not saying that way is for everybody.
Yeah.
But if you have the Bubba teeth and a cap you can put on sideways,
yeah,
you're good to go.
Yeah. So please, folks, hey, I know they're just starting out, but this was a really, really good fit for what Matt and I have going on. Really, I mean, he's trying to make it to the Elite Series. School starts for me. Basketball starts October 1st. School starts in August. So our time was very limited. This was something that I wanted to do. And Michael and his staff contacted us, reached out to us, and said, hey, man, we love what you're doing. Let's figure out a way to partner up and make this happen. So that's what we're going to do beginning in August, Ken.
I think that's great. You guys always have cool content. I think this is a really interesting concept, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see how guys go about trying to sell their boat.
See what they do.
I think it's going to be a blast. Yeah, the more creative guys are going to get a better price. You know, that's the way it works.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm excited about it. All right, we're going to take our final break, come back, and play a little bit more What If with Ken Duke. Everybody stay tuned on a Tuesday.
The Little John family of crankbaits designed by top tour pro John Cruz have excelled at catching bass in any condition for years. They all feature a flat-sided design and paint jobs that are seldom seen in mass production bait. The Little John family also expands with new rattling versions of the Little John 50 and Little John 50 MD. Both of these baits are proven fish catchers that will now be available in rattling versions for stained and muddy water. They feature the same great action and diving depths as the original 50 and MD sizes.
The Ned rig. What rod should I be using with the Ned rig? My favorite is the Denali Lithium multi-spin rod. It's our 7'4" length, great Ned rig rod. It's got a great sensitive tip on it. It's long enough where I can make long casts, which you're usually fishing clear water with a Ned rig, and it's got enough backbone to get those fish in. So check it out, Denali Lithium Series 7'4" multi-spin.
Let's face it, fishing electronics are no longer an afterthought. They've become a necessity. And at the Bass Tank, our experts match you with the right electronics, provide professional installation, and educate you to help maximize your catching results while providing support along the way. Because let's be honest, it's about catching, not just fishing. And when you're ready for better results, join the Bass Tank team. Visit us today on Facebook or go to thebasstank.com.
Monofilament. When, where, how, why, when would I fish it? Gerald, there's a lot of lines out there. When do I choose monofilament? Anytime your bait's floating. How about that? If you're going to throw top water and you don't want to throw it on a light braid, throw it on monofilament. For instance, I just left the Sabine a few months ago. I was throwing a small popper on 14-pound Supernatural. The line floats super right, but the castability of it will blow your mind. Supernatural monofilament to me is anything you want to throw on the surface, go with monofilament. Anything that's going under the water, you can go with fluoro.
Pro-inspired, pro-designed. Tested and proven by legends on the water. Dominating the tournament trail for over 50 years. Everything you need, one legendary brand. Strike King.
Hey guys, Major League Fishing Pro Jacob Wheeler here with my new Signature Series line of rods with Ducket Fishing. We have my 7.2 cranking rod right here. Crankbaits can be very fickle, and having the right, having a lot of tip can be too much, and having not enough tip can, lose a lot of fish. So you really got to be careful. If there's one or two techniques that I'm really adamant about having the perfect action as a crankbait, especially like a square bill, a DT6, those medium running crankbaits in the springtime when those fish's mouth are pretty tough. That's when I'm really on top of having my actions just perfect.
All right, we are back wrapping up Tuesday with our special guest host, Mr. Ken Duke. And
yesterday we got a great practice run. It was kind of like our, Matt's out there practicing on Oneida. Yesterday we got to practice for the marathon show by doing a 2.5 hour BTL.
That might have been the longest regular show that we've ever done. I think we might have done a 2-hour show before, but I can't recall going 2.5 hours. And the feedback from the folks, I got bombarded with emails, and I know some of the comments that were posted on YouTube and stuff. So I am trying to answer every single one of the emails because, hey, if you take the time to send me an email, I'm going to do everything I can to respond to it. That's kind of how I roll. Let's see here. We're going to continue with this what if scenarios. And the next one I have.
What if I had hair?
You wouldn't be Ken Duke. Everybody knows Ken Duke because of your styling and profiling, man.
If I wear a hat, people just don't notice me.
No.
Well,
and
I can't wear I can't wear a Bernie Schultz visor because then I look like a Jiffy Pop. So
yeah. All right, man. Next one. What if, be it organization A and B, truly had a national champion when it comes to professional fishing? How would the fans react to that? And what would the industry think about having a true champion from Tour A versus Tour B?
Okay, so you're talking about essentially like the old NFL when they combined with the AFL.
Yeah.
And they had and they created the what was the Super Bowl? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Like you have Tour A, and then you have Tour B over here. Well, the Angler of the Year from both tours go heads up, and let's say do a live stream, live television, whatever you want to do, heads up match. They're both in their own boats, and over a 2-day period, you truly determine who the reigning Angler of the Year is.
Okay, a few things I think would happen. First of all, such an event will never happen. It's not going to happen, but let's go past that and assume that it will. Let's assume that it could happen. The first thing it would do is it would devalue the championships on both sides. It would devalue the league championships. And let's just use as an example MLF and BASS, okay? It would devalue the Bassmaster Classic and the Red Crest, because now you're saying there is a bigger champion than the Red Crest champion and the Bassmaster Classic champion. You're putting something up here when previously you had it down at this level. So you devalue the others, especially if you do things like have an expo associated with this higher level event. The second thing you do is it doesn't work under this current system at all, because you have Bass choosing its champion on the basis of a 5-fish limit format, and you have MLF choosing its champion on an every fish counts basis. So it's kind of like saying, okay, we're going to have the NFL champion play the rugby champions. And you'd have to choose which format, which game are you going to play at this level up here? Are you going to play every fish counts? Are you going to play 5-fish limit? What are you going to do? Because whichever one you choose significantly gives an advantage to the guy who fished that all year.
All right, hang on, Ken. I understand your point. What if you had a hybrid of both? Let's say during this event you have catch and release, but you only count your best 8.
I still think that would benefit the 5-fish limit guy.
Okay.
But anyway, I think again,
you're right, man. It's never going to happen.
But
what if? Would it be great for the fans? Would the fans love it?
I'll tell you what would have been great. From a fan, I'm talking only from a fan perspective, not from a business perspective, not from a league perspective.
Yeah.
It would have been great back in the old Bass FLW days if they could have had a championship event which sent the top 5 Bass guys against the top 5 FLW guys. That would have been cool. That would have caused a lot of interesting debate and discussion. Which one's better? Who's got the better anglers? Who's better at this? Who's better at that? That would have been dynamite, I think. But I don't think it's as cool when each of the current leagues are playing a different game. They're just playing a different game. If everybody was playing the same game like they were playing in the old NFL, AFL days, the old American League, National League days of Major League Baseball around the turn of the last century when they created the World Series, that would have been cool.
All right. What about this, Ken? And I do it a lot. And part of my MO is just kind of how I roll. I compare this game and try to make comparisons to other sports. Is that absolutely wrong? Or is this game, this sport, just so unique that you just continually, even though you continually or I continually try to compare things with other sports, it just can't be done because of the nature of this game?
I think there are always valuable comparisons that can be made, whether you're talking about other sports or other businesses. I think that as long as you recognize there are also significant differences, I don't think there is a real parallel out there. Ironically, I think the closest you can get to a good parallel is not NASCAR or football or baseball or basketball or hockey or bowling. I think it's probably poker. I think poker may be the most analogous to tournament bass fishing.
I can understand that.
And I think that as long as you're careful about how you compare and as long as you realize where the differences are, comparisons are valuable because you can learn a lot. If you can see where something that's fairly comparable in one area has succeeded, you can copy it. You can pick the best parts of it and try to move forward with it. So I not only do I think it's fair to compare, I think it's essential.
All right. So I don't look like that much of an idiot every time I bring that up.
Well,
then,
you
right?
never look like an idiot, except when you disagree with me.
No. Which I do disagree with you sometimes.
I
but
know.
That's part of our friendship, man.
Absolutely, it is. And I'm just messing with you. But
yeah.
I think that I think that comparing things is fun. You know, we do it all the time. Who is better, Roland Martin or Kevin Van Dam? Well, they're different eras, they're different systems, they're different everything. And which is better? But yeah, the comparison is A, inevitable, and B, valuable. I like it.
All right. The next what if. Yeah, the next what if. Now, over the past, I think it was a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, something like that, I made the suggestion, hey, if you guys want to pony up $500 and become a franchise owner, let's get this fantasy fishing thing going for next year where it works just like an actual draft, and there's a lot of other details and all that and everything. Dude, I got bombarded with emails from people, hey, I want in. Hey, I want to do this. Hey, I want in. And just an FYI for everybody, I have compiled a list, and I will be in touch when we get closer, when I get closer to actually forming this. And then Matt Ellis, you know Matt, former Strike King guy, Matt Ellis is actually going to help with this franchise league of 8 franchise in Major League Fishing on the BPT, and then 8 franchise owners on the Elite Series. So more details about that. What if Ken Duke was actually one of those franchise owners, and you have the number 1 pick in the draft on the Elite Series? Who you taking as the number 1 pick?
Hands down, Patrick Walters, no question.
Why?
Because he's clearly the best angler in that format on that tour, and it's not close. It's not close.
All right. Now,
I'm not saying he's been the individual standout in any one season, because over the last 3 years, I don't think he has been the best angler in any one season. But if you look at it in the entirety of the 3 seasons, he is hands down, not close, runaway best performer over those seasons.
All right. What if you were a franchise owner on the BPT Fantasy League? Who's your number 1 pick? And you have the number 1 pick.
That's much tougher.
Yeah.
That's much tougher, because I think that the competition level over there is a lot more even, and I think it's at a higher level. I'm not going to argue that with anybody. Because I don't want to have to dig out stats and have a big argument about it right now. That's not what the show's about. But that's much tougher. I'd have to look. I mean, obviously, you got to talk Edwin Evers. You got to talk Ott Defoe. You got to talk Jacob Wheeler. There's a lot of names that come into that. And that league is a lot tougher, in my opinion, to make that number 1 pick than it is on the BASS side.
Okay. I'll let you skate on that one. I totally understand. All right. Non-committal on your number 1 pick, but that's all right. NBA draft coming up, I think Thursday night. We'll see. I think Cade Cunningham from Oklahoma State is probably going to go number 1, but we'll see on that. Anyway, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Anyway, I had a great quote.
The other thing that we haven't talked about, and that is very important to talk about if you're really getting serious about the fantasy thing and who your number 1 draft pick is going to be, the names I just threw at you might not be even in the hunt for my number 1 draft pick if I look at the schedule carefully and I see the track record of every angler on it. Because then I might realize, oh my gosh, the guys I thought were the best are god-awful historically on these bodies of water. I don't
think Jacob Wheeler's god-awful on anything, to be quite honest with you.
Those guys I just mentioned are god-awful on any body of water. But you know what I mean. There might be somebody who jumps out at you.
Yeah.
At that point.
All right. Here we go. Toward the Elite Series. What if Ken Duke had the power to ban 1 lure on the Bassmaster Elite Series? What would it be?
It would definitely be the hover lure, because the hover lure is the worst lure ever devised. And I just think it's
what does that say?
Outlawed.
King of Bass.
King of Bass. This lure doesn't even touch the water, if you can believe it. It's a dragonfly imitation on a crappie hook that sits on a lily pad above the water. I have this because this is the worst bass lure in history. Now, I wouldn't ban any lure. I certainly wouldn't ban the Alabama rig. That's the stupidest thing any league ever did, was to ban the Alabama rig. It was cowardly move. Cowardly move, Mark Jeffries.
Not a fan of that, huh, Ken?
I'm not, because it plays into every stupid thing anybody's ever said in the world of fishing. Oh, we can't have this kind. We can't have the Lowrance out there because that's Lowrance green box. That's Sonar. That's too much of an advantage. Oh, we can't let them use plastic worms. Bass can't resist a plastic worm.
Oh, jeez.
Well, bull. And I had Bass pros tell me, got to ban this thing. They can't resist it. Really? Really? I've never seen anything a bass couldn't resist. And you know what? There is an art and there is a science to throwing an Alabama rig. I mean, you might give me a great Alabama rig with a lot of fabulous baits on it. But if Edwin Evers threw one that had tennis shoes tied on instead of lures, he'd still kick my butt with it. Because he's going to throw it in better places. He's going to work it more effectively. That was really cowardly of Bass and FLW and anybody else to ban the Alabama rig. They also took some steam out of the industry. The industry was excited about that product, and they guaranteed that it would be taken out of a lot of tournament play, which meant it would not get much attention in the media, which was stupid.
All right, there you have it. Ken Duke's opinion on the Alabama rig.
I'm sorry, castable umbrella rigs. I shouldn't say.
Yeah,
the Alabama rig is a specific thing.
Well,
castable umbrella rigs should not be banned. By the way, when Bass first tried to ban the castable umbrella rig, and they showed me the language that they planned to use, I read it and I said, "You just outlawed the spinnerbait." So it took them a while to refine.
Yeah. You know, many years ago when it first came out, what we used to call it, Drew the True Smith, who used to be on the show many, many years ago, we called it the rigatoni rig.
Rigatoni?
Because, you know, the pasta, it looks like a bunch of pasta going through the water with all
does,
the arms in it. Yeah, we called it, instead of the A rig, we said the A rigatoni.
I like it. And, you know, of course, everybody calls it heaving the chandelier and stuff like that. And in one of the very first issues of Bassmaster Magazine, I mean one of the very first, Harold Sharp, the late, great tournament director of Bass from the 70s and 80s, he used to be the cartoonist, believe it or not, for Bassmaster Magazine, in addition to being the tournament director. And he did a cartoon of a guy getting ready to make a cast, and essentially what he had was an Alabama rig with every different type of lure hanging off of it. And I thought, wow, that was 30 years before its time.
Wow. All right, next one. What if you had an opportunity to fish a team tournament on, I'm going to throw a wrench in here, on Grand Lake? Who would you want your team partner to be?
Edwin Evers.
Without a doubt.
Because
why?
Because Edwin's really good on Grand Lake. He won a Bassmaster Classic on Grand Lake, and I just enjoy hanging out with Edwin Evers. And he might put me on Project E.
You know he's building a lake. Did you know that?
I know he's building a lake in his backyard, and when Mark and I say he's building a lake, he's building a lake.
Yeah,
he's purchased a bulldozer and a dump truck and the equipment, and he's sitting in the seat and driving those things and pushing the dirt around, and it's going to be 30 some odd acres, and it's going to have, you know, quite a bit of shoreline for its size, and he's going to build in humps and drops and points, and it's going to have brush in there and rock in there, and I'm sure he's going to control some vegetation, and he's working with the the biologists out there to make sure he's got a terrific strain of fish in the water. Yeah, he's going to do it right, because that's what Edwin does.
Hey, a lot of people want to know what your thoughts are on forward-facing live sonar.
I think it's terrific. I think it's cool. I think it's interesting. I think it's fun. I don't know what else I can say about it. I don't personally have a forward-facing sonar unit right now, but I look forward to getting one. I've spent some time in the boat with all of the forward-facing sonar options, except for the new Humminbird Mega Live, which won Best Electronics at ICAST last week.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's a terrific product. I got to spend some time in the boat with the guys at Lowrance when they were still fine-tuning active target. This would have been last October on Table Rock Lake, and it's fascinating. Very cool stuff.
All right, we talked a little bit about ICAST yesterday and got your take on a lot of stuff. What if you could change one thing about ICAST? What would it be?
Whoa, wow. Just one, huh?
Just one.
Well, the thing that comes to mind first is I would change the voting process for the new product showcase. You know, we always hear, oh, this one best of ICAST. And the people who vote at the new product showcase, for the folks who don't know, are buyers, retail and wholesale buyers, and media. So Mark and I, for example, can vote. I don't think Mark and I should be able to vote. I think the vote should be taken away from us, because every media person I know is either biased or has the appearance of bias, because we are all beholden to somebody. Like Bob Dylan taught us many years ago, it may be the devil or it may be the Lord, but you're going to have to serve somebody. And we serve our advertisers and sponsors. And maybe we have the integrity to pick up our ballot and vote for what we really think is the best. And I like to think I have that integrity. I know Mark has that integrity. But you know what? We also need to avoid the appearance of impropriety and the appearance of bias. And there's no way I can do that. There's no way that Mark can know I'm not just voting for advertisers. There's no way I can know Mark is not just voting for advertisers. And I don't like that. I want the media vote taken away at ICAST. And I want the buyers to vote, because the buyers are the ones who are the closest nexus to the actual anglers. They're the ones who have day-to-day contact with the folks who are using these products. And they're selecting the products not on the basis of what makes a good story or on the basis of how much advertising money did you give me, but on the basis of what they think can sell, what they think will help you catch a fish, what they think will make you have a better experience on the water. And anybody who says different has got a long way to go before they convince me that I'm wrong. I want to take away the media vote and make only the buyers vote for these products.
It's an interesting take, and I can't disagree with that. Now let me ask you this, Ken. What if, is this even a possibility that you line up, and obviously there would be some items that you can't do this because of the branding that's on the product itself, but what if you had no company branding on the product that is being showcased and voted on? In other words, you look at this, right? You have no idea who makes it. You just look at the bait and go, "Oh, yeah, that's kind of cool." Would that be a situation that would work?
My first response, Mark, is to say that's impossible.
Okay.
That's impossible because long before I ever see it at ICAST and the new product showcase, I've probably seen 8 press releases about it.
Yeah, good point. And we've talked about that. We've talked about that on this show.
Yeah. So I just don't think it's possible. The other problem is, if you're an avid angler it's not enough to just block the name. You can look at a crankbait and tell by the eyes who makes it, or you can tell by, by the electronics or by the color of something who makes it. It's really hard to mask a product in the way that you're talking about. Yeah. And in some cases, I think it's impossible. And it's also impossible to shut the marketing process down so that media people don't find out about this stuff well before it launches.
Yeah. All right, man. Next question, kind of a throwback. The next what if, I remember back in the day, guys were limited in the Bassmaster Classic on the number of tackle boxes and the number of rods. What if on both tours the guys were limited to 10 rods and reels? Unlimited tackle, though. But you can only have 10 rods and reels in your boat at one time. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Is the 10 rods and reels rule, is that also in practice or just in competition?
Just in competition.
I would argue that the 10 rods and reels just in competition probably wouldn't make any difference, because most of these guys have narrowed it down to 10 or fewer rods in practice, and that's just not gonna matter.
Well, I've seen photos. You've seen photos. I mean, some of the photos with Iaconelli, he's got 20 rods on the deck.
I know, but he's not on anything. The only guy who makes that work is a guy we're both a fan of, Gerald Swindle, and a few guys who are really good at what we shouldn't call junk fishing, because ain't no junk about it. But Gerald is so good at fishing whatever's in front of him that he makes that work. Edwin Evers can make that work. The guys who are really versatile can make that work, but I don't think you're really handicapping them significantly if you held them to 10. Yeah. I don't think that hurts guys who are as versatile as Swindle and Evers, and most guys have narrowed it down to 10 or fewer. If you did it in practice as well, yeah, that would do something. But what does it do? It hurts them. Why would we do anything that hurts our competitors? Like, let's say, in the NFL, the Ravens have a really good defense. Let's make them play without helmets. Let's see how good they are then.
Well, I disagree with that, Ken, because take golf. Well, you're only allowed, I don't know what the number is, 16 clubs or 15 clubs or whatever the number is.
15 or 14 clubs.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, does it create a more
But I would argue that in golf, it's a stupid rule, too. Why are they doing that? I mean,
what, you think they should have – you think that they should have 50 golf clubs out there for every situation?
I do. I'll tell you why. Because it would fire up the marketplace. Imagine how many more golf clubs a Ping could sell.
I'm not buying that one.
If I'm a golf club manufacturer, I want the pros on the PGA Tour to be able to carry as many clubs as they want, because I'm going to sell more golf clubs that way.
See, I don't think so. I think, dude, you could have, if some guy went out there on tour, and let's say for some reason, we have people telling us that it's 13 clubs. For some reason, he only plays with 10. For some reason, the clubs that he is using based on his performance is what's going to sell. It's not the number of clubs that he has. It's what he does with those clubs.
I agree with you, but there's going to be a situation where he pulls out that club he could never had when he was restricted to 13, and he's going to do something funky out of the rough, and he's going to say, yeah, if I didn't have this 1.5 iron.
Okay, I
don't know why all the characters I use all have that same voice like this, but they do.
All right, now they're saying it's 14.
Also, I think if you restricted guys to, and 10 is maybe not a low enough number, but the early Bassmaster Classics limited guys to 4 rods and 10 pounds of tackle. If you limited the guys today to 4 rods, you would restrict, curb, damage rod sales in this country.
No, I agree with that. What was the response back in the day from those guys that could only have 4 rods and only 10 pounds of tackle? Were they mad? Did they not like it? Or did they develop a strategy, obviously, to adapt to what the rules were?
Well, yeah, there was a strategy to it. But first of all, I will say with regard to the rods, I've never heard anybody complain, because guys didn't carry 37 rods. back then. They carried 3, 4, 5 rods at most. I never heard of anybody carrying more than like 5 rods back in the early 70s. That's just what they did.
Yeah.
I do hear guys complain about tackle. Guys would complain about tackle a lot because 10 pounds of tackle also included your terminal gear, also included your sinkers. I mean, can you imagine restricting a guy who pitches and punches a lot to 10 pounds of gear? He's got that many 1-ounce tungsten sinkers.
Yeah.
So that's what they complained about, because when they got on that plane in the Mystery Lake days, which was 1971 through 1976, and they didn't know where they were going, so they didn't know what they had to pack for, and 10 pounds was a big deal. But 4 rods, they didn't feel like that hurt them too bad.
Interesting. That's interesting stuff. All right.
Remember,
so
there was no such thing as a flipping stick back then. Everybody basically fished with bait casters, and that were about 5.5 to 6 feet long. They all mostly threw pretty heavy line. You know, the guys from the north and the west would have one spinning rod with them that was probably spooled up with 10-pound mono. Nobody had braid. It was a simpler time. It was a simpler, kinder, gentler time, Mark.
All right, Ken, since you're a man of not putting restrictions on the anglers, why do we have a restriction on horsepower? Why not see guys strap 400s on there and go, all right, guys, I'm getting to the spot first?
Well, the quick answer is U.S. Coast Guard.
What? If they have an unlimited rating on the boat, if they're running a 22-foot boat?
Just because a tournament organization says, strap them on, boys, and go to it, that doesn't mean the Coast Guard is going to say that. The Coast Guard is going to say, wait a minute, this is a 19-foot boat. You can't put a 400 horsepower engine on it. We're not going to let that happen.
Dude, I'm talking about if they're rated unlimited or if they're rated for a 400, why not let them use them?
I agree. I think one of the Ray Scott did so many great things. And he's one of my heroes in this game. And neither you nor I would be doing what we're doing at this moment if it had not been for Ray Scott. But I think Ray did make one mistake, because for many, many years, he restricted horsepower in BASS events to 150. And I think he held the outboard motor industry back for a long time because of that. Because like it or not, and I often don't understand quite why, but like it or not, the fact that the big tournaments didn't use anything bigger than a 150 retarded the industry from developing bigger engines for the bass market. And I don't like that. I don't want anything to hold back the market. I'm a big believer in free market economics and what the market does. We can say there is no perfect system, but if we don't tamper with things, if we don't put bizarre restrictions on things, if we don't, unfairly supplement things, the market's a damn fine system.
All right, last question, and it's kind of, I don't think it's complicated, but hopefully everybody will understand where I'm going.
Don't you throw down the gauntlet on me. I'll make it complicated.
All right. What if there was an organization that covered all of professional fishing? Let's just call it the PBA, the Professional Bass Association. All right. What if they just had an IPO a year ago? It IPO'd at $50 a share. Right now, today, the stock price is $70 a share. You're going to be a buyer or a seller at $70 a share?
So
you think it's going to go up? You think it's going to go up? Or is it going to go down?
Well, tell me a little bit about this PBA. Are they the league? They run all the professional tournaments.
It's strictly fictitious, all right? If there was one organization,
what do they do? Are they the NCAA,
they control and manage everything in professional fishing.
So they run the tournaments. They have publications. They have a website. They have all those.
They're a big giant media tournament company. Their IPO went at 50. Their current stock price right now is at 70. In the professional bass fishing world, are you a buyer or a seller at $70 a share?
I'm a seller.
Why is that? You taking the profits and running, or do you truly believe that there is going to be a decline in the professional bass fishing industry?
Well, I'd like to know a lot more about what they're doing and how they're doing it.
I agree.
But if you're telling me, if I don't have any of that information,
yeah.
if all I know is where we are in the economic world at the moment.
That's what I'm trying to compare it to, dude.
Okay. We just had a huge surge, the biggest surge in history in the number of anglers. We gained 8 million anglers over normal last year.
Yeah.
Because of COVID, because people were not working, because they had time to get outdoors, they had no alternative, because fishing is a socially distancing kind of activity, and because they couldn't go to movies or concerts or restaurants or whatever. That's changing. People are eventually going to go back to work. And historically what happens when people go back to work is, especially if they've lost income for a period, historically what happens is they go back to work, and not only do they look for work, they look for extra work. They take less time away for leisure to try to make up for what they lost in the past, in the recent past. So that tells me there's a great likelihood that the anglers we gained, we might lose, or we're at least going to lose most of them. If I'm realistic, we're going to lose most of them. We'll keep some of them. So we're better off than we were in 2019, but we're not as good as we were in 2020 or earlier this year. So I'm a seller for that reason.
All right. Makes sense. You know.
And these 8 million new anglers are mostly not bass anglers. In fact, they're rarely bass anglers. They're mostly panfish anglers fishing just to catch what's biting. But that impacts the bass market too, because most of the companies that make bass products also make other things. And so I'm expecting a bit of a lull. So I'm a seller.
All right. Taking your profits and running.
I don't think the bottom's going to fall out. I just think it might dip, and I think it might be peaking right now. Yeah. So I'm out.
All right.
I'll get back when it gets
when it
back
drops a little.
50.
You're going to buy the dip, is what you're going to do.
Buy the dip.
All right, man. I love doing the what if thing. We talked about a bunch of stuff.
You're good at it, man. I don't know where you come up with all those questions, but and for anybody watching, listening, he doesn't give me advance notice as to what they are.
No.
So if I stumble and bumble, it's because I'm stumbling and bumbling.
No. Well, dude, you're one of a kind. Fans love you. And we're going to have you on during the marathon show. Folks, this is what you need to look forward to. We're going to talk world record bass with Ken. We're going to talk about a lot of historical things that have taken place in this game over the years and really dive into some very, very cool stuff. Here's the other thing, too. I might have mentioned it earlier, but I want to make sure everybody understands. The marathon will be in segments. That way we can break it up to where you don't have to listen to 24 consecutive hours. I mean, we're going to obviously have to take like a 15-minute break to get everything uploaded and do all that from a technology standpoint. But the show will be divided up into segments to where you don't have to listen to the entire marathon the whole time. Obviously, I don't know what's going to take place between, say, 3 a.m. and 4 a.m., but we're going to figure it out, Ken.
Nothing good. Nothing good. But this is interesting because I've always considered you the Jerry Lewis of bass fishing.
What? What?
No.
I don't know how to take that.
Well, you're adored by the French. That's what I mean.
Oh, the dude lived forever. Is he still alive? He's not still alive,
no,
is he?
He passed away a few years ago, and I'm just messing with you.
Yeah. That's kind of funny, though. Huh. Jerry Lewis of bass fishing. Are you kidding me? Jeez, I don't see, 20 people lined up behind me on the phones.
I want you in a tuxedo, just like Jerry Lewis.
Oh, do the marathon in a tuxedo.
Yes, marathon in a tuxedo, just like Jerry Lewis.
What would you like Matt to wear?
I don't know. I think he should dress up like I think Matt should be forced to juggle during the show or something.
Yeah. What is that show that was in the early 70s, late 60s? What was it? Rowan and Martin?
Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't they wear tuxedos sometimes when they did that show?
They usually Dan Rowan and Dick Martin, I believe,
Yeah.
usually introduced the show in tuxedos or at least very nice suits.
Yeah, Phyllis Diller was on that show too.
Goldie Hawn, Phyllis Diller, Artie Johnson, Ruth Buzzy, Lily Tomlin. I can go on and on, but I'll just further embarrass myself.
We are dating ourselves, Ken. Jeez.
Richard Nixon appeared on that show when he was president.
I can remember that.
Yeah.
Rowan and Martin.
That
was an epic. That was kind of like one of the first comedy kind of, modern day, a little, because they kind of went out on the edge a little bit for that time of the year.
They definitely did.
Or time in history.
We're just establishing that we're old.
That's very well established, Ken. Anyway,
I guess
so. The next time that Matt is out, you are definitely going to pinch hit for him. But I think the next time that we'll have you on will be the Marathon Show. The Marathon Show is going to take place August 9th and 10th, Monday and Tuesday, 24 hours of BTL. People will probably continue to get sick of me. And yes, I want to answer that question. I do a lot of thinking on the lawnmower. I love mowing the lawn. That is my getaway time. And yes, I do a lot of thinking when I'm mowing the yard. All 1 acre. There's a lot of mowing going on, Ken.
Lawnmower is a great place to think. And where else can you put in a couple of hours and you see such fabulous looking results?
Yeah. I'm very proud of my yard. I'm a yard guy.
You're a yard guy, a bass guy, a bowling guy, a basketball guy. What kind of guy are you not?
Yeah.
You're not a bad guy. You're a good guy.
I try to be. All right, folks. Tomorrow, Bo Stevens sitting right there to the right of me in studio. BTL fan guest host.
Is Edwin going to be in studio also?
No. He will actually be on the phone because he may have a lake, but his connectivity, not so great. So we're working on that.
Well, tell Bo good luck. If Bo's watching this, good luck, man.
Yeah.
You're going to have a great time. And say hey to Edwin for him.
Yeah, will do. Ken, you rock as always, man. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, we'll be back, same time. Frank Scalish on Thursday. That's it, folks. We're out of here.